هذا اللقاء الخاص مع الفنان أميتاب باتشان وتحت حراسة مشددة، وذلك في مكتب شركة طيران الإمارات بالقاهرة.
Right now we are in Emirates Airline office in Cairo, because this was the best place to make this interview with you, because there is a lot of crowd everywhere you move since you arrived from the airport up to now. At the beginning, we'd like to ask you why you are here, just because of the Cairo Film Festival, or?
Yes, the Cairo Film Festival is doing some kind of a retrospective of some of my films. And I'd met some of the organizers earlier on in Moscow when I was there in May. And they had invited me to Cairo, saying that they would like to have a kind of retrospective of my films, and that's why I'm here.
But as I know and as I heard here, they were trying since 4 years, I think. Every year they're trying to invite you to this festival, but every time something happens.
Yes, it's unfortunate that I couldn't come earlier. But I'm here now and I'm very happy.
Have you been to Cairo before?
I was here in 1975 for the shooting of one of my films called Great Gambler. I was here for a very short while, and this is my second trip.
After now, in end of 1991, and after your visit to Cairo, what's your future here in Cairo? Are you planning to do any co-productions?
There are no such plans at the moment, but I hear a lot of people wanting to make co-productions, and if there is a project that is suitable, and if it's offered, I'll be very happy to have a look at it.
Going back to early 70s, exactly, I think in 1973, that was your first film?
No, in 69.
69?
Yes, my first film was in 1969. But I think the film that became very popular was a film called Zanjeer, and that was in 1973.
Zanjeer was your first hit?
Well, in many respects, yes.
Assalamu alaikum, Inspector. हमारा खुशकिस्मती तो तुम्हारे जैसे बड़े ऑफिसर ने हमको याद किया, हमारे लायक कोई खिदमत। तुम्हारा नाम शेर खान है?
Your biggest hit was Sholay, and it was shown, I think, all over the world. And as I read, there is some theaters in India that they still show Sholay since 1975.
I think when Sholay was initially released, it ran for about 5 years in one theater in Bombay. But it keeps coming up in repeat runs in various parts of the country. And yes, it is a very popular film.
Why Sholay so popular? Why it became so popular? Because of the script, the director, because of you?
Certainly not because of me.
Yeah.
I think the script was beautiful. I think it was very well directed, very well made. The whole mounting of the film was quite exceptional. Also, it was in 70 mm. I think it was the first Hindi film in 70 mm. And it was re-recorded and mixed in Pinewood Studios in London. And that gave it a kind of very good technical finish, you know. Technically, it was a very brilliant film. Added to that, of course, was this huge star cast, you know, with Dharmender and Hema Malini and Sanjeev Kumar. And, so it was a huge star cast, and I think the story itself was something which the more from the rural India was able to identify with it than the city people. But there were some incidents in the film which were city-oriented also. So it got a nice blend of the urban and the rural areas, and that's why I think the film became quite successful.
Did you expect, I mean, all this success from Sholay? Did you know when you were doing the film, did you know that it will be so successful?
I knew that we had a very exceptional script.
Yeah.
But we never knew that it was going to be so popular and so successful.
At that day, Dharmendra was on the top when he was in the 70s. He was, I think, like #1 in India. What did you feel to act with him, to be with him? How the production worked?
Mr. Dharmendra is a very fine gentleman.
Yes.
It's always been a great pleasure working with him. I've done many films with him. And he's always treated me like a younger brother. And,
Okay, after Sholay, there was another big hit, Amar Akbar Antony. It was totally different than Sholay. But still, some people say the Indian cinema, they have the same style of the movies.
Yes.
It always starts with a family, where the young boys and the family, they separate. Then, in the end of the film, they meet again with action, love stories, and revenge. How do you answer? I mean, is it all the same style, or it's different, but we don't feel it maybe?
I do admit that a lot of our stories have not been able to go out of a fixed format. And I think this happens because once a film in a particular genre succeeds, then the producers want to keep making the same film again and again. There's a lot of money that is invested, which does not come from banks or from corporations. It's picked up at very exorbitant interest rates, and this money needs to be brought back. And the producer would always want to play safe, and that's why he keeps repeating these films. The other thing is that whenever we've tried to do something different, something away from what is the accepted norm of a Hindi commercial film, it has not succeeded. So I think that in many ways I would say that if the people want to see something different, they should stop patronizing this kind of cinema, and we won't make it again. The input of video, you cannot stop scientific development. Video is a modern concept. It's a modern scientific development. Rather than succumb to it, I think that the intention of future film producers should be to fight it. And fight it not by stopping it, but trying to beat it. By improving your product, by improving the quality of your films, and getting people back into the theatre. I think initially India did face, and the Indian films did face a lot of problems because the video was making a sizable dent. But I think now, gradually, people are realizing that if they want to see the full merit of a film, it must be seen on a big screen. And I hope that the filmmakers in future would want to make better quality films so that people can go back to the theatres.
What is the better quality films?
Quality in the sense that something that looks better on a large screen rather than on a small video screen in your home. I'm doing just one more film. It's called Khuda Gawah, and that should be over next month. This is my last of my backlog. I've not signed any fresh films for the past 4 years, and this is deliberately done because I'm now 50 years old and I cannot be doing the same kind of roles again and again, and I need to finish all my backlog and perhaps sit back and think what I should be doing next and what kind of roles I should be doing. And quite frankly, at the moment my main intention is to finish all my films and then think what I want to do next.
You are 50 years old.
That's right.
You're still doing the same roles that you were doing in the 70s, maybe
That is right.
20 years ago.
Yes.
How can you keep that?
That's what I'm saying. But it's time I stopped doing that, because I can't possibly romance girls who are half my age and at the same time look credible. So I will have to do some rethinking about that, and that's what I want to do now.
Okay, you are married to Jia Badri,
Yes.
the famous Indian actress, and she played the role in Sholay. After Sholay, I think she didn't do any movies, maybe the same role in the film Kabhi Kabhi.
Yeah, Silsila.
Silsila.
That's right.
Yeah. Your family, how can you be with your family in your private life and being a star outside?
This is a regret that I've always had. I've not been able to devote as much time as I should to the family. And I know that this is an area where I feel very sad about. Because when my children were growing up, I was working from 7 in the morning till late at night. And some very important period in my children's life has just gone away without my being with them. And this is a regret that I will always have. But hopefully now that I am limiting my work, I should have some more time for the family. But I do wish to say that whenever I'm not working, I'm with the family. I don't work on Sundays, I don't work on holidays. And that's the time I spend with the family.
There is, I think, in India, 600 films every year.
800.
800 films. And you do 8 films every year?
My average works out about 4 or 5 every year.
4 to 5. Do you feel it's enough or it's too much?
I think it's too much. I think that our system is a little haphazard. But it is the system, so what can you do about it?
You got some offer?
No. Many years ago, there was a producer from Hollywood who came and wanted to make a film with Indian artists and did meet me, but nothing materialized. But other than that, there is nothing happening.
Do the American producers know Amitabh Bachchan?
No.
They don't know.
No.
Have you been to America?
Yes?
Yeah. Have you shown any Indian films there?
No, I haven't. But other than what is shown in the Asian community. But apart from that, no.
You are a very successful actor, and in 1984 you joined the political arena in India. After 2 years and a half, you left all that behind. Why it was so short, and why it was just only 2 years and a half?
In 84, I made a very emotional decision to join politics. Mrs. Gandhi had been assassinated, and I felt that every right-thinking Indian should come forward and stand behind this young man who was going to take on the responsibility of running the country. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi asked me to fight an election. I fought an election against a very strong adversary, political adversary. Surprisingly, I won, and I came into Parliament. But having come into Parliament, I realized that politics is not just looking after one's constituency or seeing that your electorate is well looked after. It's a lot more. It's a lot more complicated, and it was something that I did not know. It's an area that I failed in, and because of the fact that I didn't know politics. I still don't know politics. At that point of time, there were many allegations of corruption that were thrown against me and my family. And I felt it morally right, being a publicly elected member, to resign and wait for these allegations to be proved. And that is why I resigned, and I waited for these allegations to be proved. Nothing was proved. On the contrary, we went to court in London. We fought 2 libel cases in London. We fought a legal battle in Sweden. We spoke to we had a government ordinance issued in Switzerland, which was investigating this whole allegation, and they cleared everything. And as far as I'm concerned now, this whole matter is dead and gone, because there is no truth. It was false. It was politically motivated. But since I'm not qualified to become a politician, I don't see why I should impose my inadequacies onto my electorate, so I've resigned from politics.
Did it keep you from the cinema, keep you away from the cinema?
You know, when I joined in 84, I did have 2 films that were on the floor, so I had to complete them. But that is all the activity that I did during the time that I was in politics.
How do you feel when you are with people, when you are outside? As here now in Cairo, everybody's trying to see you, trying to talk to you.
I feel nice. It's very flattering. And it's very emotional. Some of my meetings here with the people have been extremely emotional and very touching, and I'm very moved by it.
Is it the same thing in India too?
Yes.
How about in America?
No, America, nobody knows me.
Except the Indians there?
Yes, of course, the Asian community. Thank you for inviting me on your show, and it's been a great pleasure talking to you, and I wish you and your station all the very best, and my love and regards to all my fans who will be watching this program.
Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, Happy New Year and Happy 92. What's your personal wishes for 92?
Peace and goodwill amongst mankind.
Welcome again, and thanks for joining us in this show.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.